which is not, I'm not going to lend you money because what you look like. And then you got Jim Crow segregation. I'm going to put you into a certain part of town in which you going to suffer because now we're not going to take care of that part of town. This is why I'm pushing this census thing. If we going to be in certain areas, this is our way. This brings it full circle. We put this clown Biden in, and then we start looking for a candidate to replace his ass today. Meanwhile, we're looking for people to put in office in 2 years in the midterms, and then it'll be 2 years after that, we've been found the person to replace Joe Biden. After that, he on his heels trying to make sure he keeps our vote because we are one of the largest voting blocks in the United States of America. We're using this census money to rebuild our community by getting, like here in Illinois, the TIF fund, tax increment financing. And you getting financing for corner stores, daycare centers, after school programs. So you teach these young, you got them as babies, you can read to them. You're going to get their attention. If you're reading to them while they're babies, they'll become readers and researchers as they get older. They become readers and researchers and astute young people. Those are your next politicians. Those are your next politicians that you've grown to take care of us. Now, our young people are taking care of our seniors, and our seniors are not living in dilapidated homes and dilapidated senior establishments. And guess what? We've officially pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps using the rules that we don't know about because let's be honest. The Civil Rights Act is only 2 years older than me, so some people that potentially are listening to this that's older than the Civil Rights Act. So how the hell can you know all the rules of the game if you only been playing the games for 50 years and everybody else been playing it for 200 some odd years? See what I'm saying? But this is why we have to do these things. If we're gonna play these games, we got to shoot for these prizes. Now, you always had the opportunity to pack your shit in. That's all I'm saying. I mean, and the reason you want to do these things is because then we can have police officers that look like us in our community. We got teachers that look like us in our community. And the best case scenario is those police officers, those teachers, those politicians, those business people, they will do, seeing how we've created and cultivated the community that's beneficial to us, they will do what you have to do to be successful. And then we wouldn't be up against it because look, you have been carefully grafted out of the United States history books. This isn't because you're not a good person or you're a bad person. You were carefully grafted out of the plan. If you don't want to believe that, that's on you. This is what I want you to do. I want you to look up the Daughters of Confederacy. These are the people who carefully erased you from the history of the United States of America. Or look at Dr. Shakta Tadat. He wrote a book, American Origins, American Original History, Myth or Reality. This is when it teaches you how, if you remove somebody's language, if you attack them psychologically, and then you attack their value systems, which is the principles to destroy a human being. Because if I remove your language, you can't communicate. You have to communicate on my terms. If I remove the history, you don't know where you've been. So how you gonna know where you're going? And then you remove the principles and morality from people, and you are what we are today: a confused, lost group of people trying to figure out things. When we need to be more like them, but guess what? Everybody that you say we need to be more like, they have their own language. They have their own. They even have their own diet. They have their own language. They have their own diet. They have their own God. They have their history intact. That way, your history shows you that this is what you need to do to follow. If you don't know the history, you're doomed to repeat. This is why I do these things. This is why I do this show, to enhance you. So don't fall for the trick of the Daughters of Confederacy to systematically erase you. Like I tell you, man, you learn about Crispus Attucks, then you learn about the Civil War, then you learn about the World War I and II and the Depression, and then you go straight to the 60s, and then you go straight to the 80s, and then you're right here. But guess what? Reconstruction. when it was more people that looked like me and you in governmental positions, fresh out of bondage, than it is now. It was more people in governmental positions than we have now in Congress, the House of Representatives, the Senate, things of that nature. We were there. They don't talk about that because they don't want you to know that. You have to delve deep into history to understand that. You don't want to either be sincerely ignorant or conscientiously stupid. Those are the only two options. I'm just saying that if you don't want to acknowledge this, you are going to suffer from it. So don't be a victim of the daughters of Confederacy. Understand that there are several thousand brothers and sisters that have contributed. You have several thousand business owners. Look at, I mentioned this on several occasions. Look at 405 Freeway. Shout out to D Great at 405. So go rocking. Shout out to Lisa Duke, big for this network rocking. But 405 Freeway separated Compton. The Dan Ryan Freeway or the 1994 separated the south side of Chicago and what we call Bronzeville. You go down to Liberty City. They got an E-way down there. I think it's 95 South. It's the same thing. And that's, we always look at Tulsa, Oklahoma and Mississippi and for these attacks on our communities. These things have happened throughout the country to systematically destroy us, and now it's time for us to shake this shit off. So these are your only options. Look, sincere ignorance or conscientious stupidity. You don't want to be a member of either one of those groups, so we're going to have to get our shit together. With that being said, I'm going to talk about the future. And the future is this: investing. Invest in your future. I want people, now, I don't know how you are setting up your future. Oh, sorry. Part of that last thing, the daughters of the Confederacy, that thing is linking over to now. Guess this. In Alaska, they want to remove Maya Angelou books and Richard Wright books, two prominent black authors. They want to remove those because, again, they continue to erase our past. You erase people's past, and then guess what happens? You're dead. You're back in this situation. Now, I want to talk about your retirement. Again, most of us are either a retirement age coming up. You got your 401k, and you got your Social Security, but you also have ancillary money that you're not going to use. I'm going to give you three options to look into. First, is a mutual fund. A mutual fund is like your own personal 401k, right? You put money into this, and then when it matures, you retire. At a certain age, you get the money out without penalties. It's the same thing. But then you have a target mutual fund. A target mutual fund can be started at any point in your life. Understand this. The market always goes up and down. It is what it is. It's a fucking airplane. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. But most of the time, airplanes are up in the air, right? What you do is do a target mutual fund. Target mutual fund is this. Let's just say you got one of those good jobs, right? You can use a target mutual fund for something like this to create wealth in your own family. You and your significant other, y'all have your own house. Let's just say $100 a month, but you don't really do anything with. You can just set it on fire if you want to. It's your target mutual fund. So when your child is 13 years old or 15 years old, let's say 15 years old, the market usually crashes every 12, 15 years. You get your target mutual fund. At the beginning of this target mutual fund, they're going to be investing for you progressive because they're trying to make this money by this one day, right? You get the money in and it builds up this money. Towards the end, whatever your target date is, it starts investing far less aggressively and pulling out your money so you out of money. The reason I say you can use it as a tool for your child, you can get a mutual fund, a target mutual fund in your child's name. And when that child matures to the point where you can graduate from college, trade school, start their own business, you can walk up to them and potentially hand them $200,000 or $300,000 and say, go buy you a home and you never pay rent again. You eliminate a significant finance from that young person's life for the rest of the time that they live. Or they can even purchase a dilapidated home, rehab it, and then keep some of that money in their pocket. Now they have 10, 15, 20,000, even $100,000 on the side, waiting on some chaotic to happen, and then they do the same thing for that child. You must teach your children to build wealth in this fashion, because when you teach your children to build wealth in this fashion, you will do it for your niece, your nephew, your cousin, whatever. When you do that, you remove the weight of the world from their shoulders. Imagine if your parents were able to give you a couple $100,000 and say, here, here's a house for you. Now you don't, only thing you have to pay is utilities. Look at how much money you will save for you and your children. If you have 2 children, you can do the same for both of them. And you can hand them those 2 things. This eliminates, this shortens the wealth gap, and this puts you in a wonderful situation. Another thing I want you to look at is an index investing. Like when you watch TV, you see the NASDAQ, you see the S&P 500. NASDAQ or index, you do an index for a market investment. NASDAQ is everybody. That's a few hundred companies. S&P 500, the Standard & Poor's 500. I used to work in this field, so I'm familiar with it. Standard & Poor's, the top 500 companies in the world. You invest in those companies. Or you can do an index, and this would be NASDAQ or what have you. That's when you see they put that on the news, or you'll be invested. Yeah, it's going to go up and it's going to go down. It's going to go up and go down. You know it's there. But you know it's there. You don't watch it every day. When it's up, it's up. When it's down, it's down. You will gain 3 to 7% of your money every year. Sometimes it's going to be 30% up. Other times it's going to be 8% down, 15% down. But on the average, you're going to gain 7% of your money that you invest. We must start investing in our children and our futures so we won't struggle. See, this is information other cultures have always had. And I'm trying to provide you with this information so we can put ourselves in a situation where we don't have to ask for anything. Because once we create an infrastructure for us and our community, we don't have to beg, ask, or plead, or kiss ass to get what we want, because we already have it. And with that being said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in Monday. Tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, DJ Mookie Dave and DJ Knox are going to do a spiritual show. They're going to be playing in spiritually enlightening music. It's going to be an awesome situation. And I want you to tune in while you're cooking your ribs and cooking up your burgers. I want you to tune in to Monday for DJ Knox. First, you're going to tune in to number 1 Chief Rocket Travis Byrne at 10 a.m. the entertainment recap show. And then at 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock, depending on where you're at, 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock in Chicago, LA, it's going to be 1 o'clock. Noon. DJ Knox, he playing cookout music, y'all. It's going to be a party. We're going to try to stay our ass out of danger. You're going to listen to DJ Knox. Then Tuesday, I'll be back on the End of the Bench podcast. DJ Knox coming on Tuesday afternoon with the Attack on Hip Hop. Then, the homie Big Illinois hosts a show called The Backyard. You know, the homie Big Dre, the homie Anu, Sister Kim, and yours truly, Cookout. We have a good time. I want y'all to check out. We're going to review this show on Netflix, 2 episodes per week. This is called Trial by Media. It's a very engaging show. Check it out. It gives you an idea. You kind of back up what I'm saying if you look at it properly. Then, Cheers, Roundtree, DJ Mad Knox, the Crown Holder, Thursday, Theory of the Culture. That show on the network, you ask me, I'm just saying. You ain't got to listen to me, just listen to it. And then, later that night, Two-Step King, DJ Mookie Dean, got the disco, he got the house, he got the remixes, he relaxing your mind, and it's Friday Eve, it's only a 4-day week, so you shouldn't be too stressed out. And then Mad Knox back on there Fridays, killing